So what we're going to do is find our seat first. We're going to fold 1 or 2 blankets. And you see I have 2 blocks and a strap. And yeah, don't worry. I'll wait for you. There's always a dog in my class, or when I teach from my house, they're a big part of the class. So nice to just take time to move and breathe and come out of mental construct. So what we're doing is we're just waiting for the students who are logged on for the live virtual to get their props. 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, it's not the end of the world, but I like 2 blocks. And if you have a yoga strap, do you? If you, or something you can use as a strap. But if you have a yoga strap, you're just going to loop it. So you put the strap through the 2 buckles and then you weave it back through the far buckle, and it makes a slip knot. And that makes it so easy. So I'm making my strap just a little wider than my shoulders. Now, and if you can't figure that out, you can always hold your strap, without, but I really love to put my wrists in the strap because it gives so much support that you don't have to use excess strain in the muscles to open your chest. So again, you loop the one end through both buckles and then you weave it back through the far buckle and it makes a slip knot. And then you're just going to put your strap to the side. And for those, I'm not Keith, obviously, I'm subbing for Keith today. My name is Dar Vander, and I've taught this class many times before. I used to teach it in the studio here years ago. And I also teach flow and yin and hot. I've been at it for 45 years. So, I keep learning. Actually going to a teacher training soon in something brand new. So I'm very excited. So sitting up on your blankies. Now I sit up a little high. I have a little erosion in my right hip. So I always prop my thigh, just sit in easy pose like this. You're welcome to do that too. And it helps just so that I'm not feeling ungrounded. And speaking of grounding, I think we'll just start with the earth element, and there's a mudra that you can do. You just make your peace sign fingers and you just push them into the floor. If you can't reach the floor, you just push them into your thigh bones. This is called BHU mudra. And it's like, currents that you're just sending down into the earth like roots. And then your tailbone and your 2 sit bones are doing the same thing. Make sure you're sitting up straight. So if the floor is too far away, just put your fingers on your thigh bones. So your bones and your pelvis, your feet and your shins, they all are the areas that we associate with the earth element. Just being grounded, having patience. I am here. I am here. So when you start your practice, instead of thinking about achieving something, just be here now with every movement and just noticing, especially when we come out of the postures, the flow of energy and how it changes a little bit without judgment or analysis. So my peace sign fingers are still plugged in, my shoulders are relaxed. Now I'm going to relax my thighs, drop my tailbone, and just gently blink your eyes closed. And think of your eyelids more like gauze curtains blowing over open windows so that they're not squeezing closed or hugging your eyeball, but they're just really gently touching one another. Take a breath. Pause at the top and exhale, re-grounding through the tailbone and sit bones. Inside of the mouth, spacious and moist. Inhale. You'll notice there's always a pause at the top and bottom of the breath. Exhale. Last one, inhaling, broadening the ribs. And exhale. And then unplug your Bh mudra. Move your fingers a little bit in case those two fingers got a little stiff. And just place your hands on your knees and give your knees a little TLC. Let's take the left arm to the ceiling, holding on to right knee, and just drape it across your head. Wrist is limp, and just allow your head to lean on your left shoulder or bicep. Inhale, broaden the ribs, easy mouth. And exhale, soften the back of the neck and just feel the weight of the arms. You're not pulling your head over, you're just allowing gravity to do the work for you. And then you're going to float your right arm up and turn your palm towards an invisible mirror and just do a little polishing. Check that your tongue did not get rigid, inside of the mouth spacious. And then bring your right hand back to your knee, release your head, and softly drop your chin forward. Maybe say a couple no's down there, just shaking the head gently right to left, right to left, right to left. And then lift the chest, and the right arm floats up. And before you grab your head, just plug your shoulder blade down a little bit, and then feel the skin of your bicep against your ear. Relax your wrist and just bring the head over to the right. Make sure your chin is lifted so your Adam's apple is visible instead of dropping. And this way you feel the entire trapezius and all that connective tissue there. Inhale, broaden the ribs. Exhale, soften that right shoulder. Soften those left molars. And then that left arm comes up, and it's like you have an invisible mirror there, and you're just going to polish. And that gives that left shoulder a gentle massage, as they say in Australia, a massage. Keep those left jaws soft, and just feel this. It even affects the left side of the tongue. And then place your left hand back on your knee and release that right arm. And again, the chin drops forward, easy eyelids. And you're going to roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then look up at your ceiling and roll your left ear to your left shoulder. But there's a lift through the chest, so you're not crunching and hearing all of that grinding, but you're making space, kind of like an opening in Hollywood. The crown of your head are those big beams, and you're just making them shoot around a dark sky, and then change direction. Notice your tongue, relax the back sides of your tongue. You know, I could do that for a while. And then lift your head. Oh, inhale. Let's take the arms out to the side and just like open the lungs. Inhale. And through the nose, exhale down the center line. Eyes drop to the fingertips. Inhale, draw the arms up. Slight pause at the top. Exhale, cactus arms, palms towards me. Inhale, draw the arms up. Exhale, cactus arms, and your fingers are alive. They're stretching out of the palm. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale, cactus arms. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, draw the elbows and hands together round the back. Inhale, open up like a sunflower. Exhale, and round. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, sit up. Inhale, arms up, palms back together. And exhale, the hands to the heart, thumbs might graze the sternum, eyes to the fingertips. And notice what you notice energetically through the arms and shoulders. The heart meridian ends at the outside tip of the pinky. And then release. And let's just take the right leg and release it off to the right. Now I'm staying on my blanket, but you're welcome to sit a little closer to the floor if that feels good for you. Let's inhale, draw the arms up. Palms gently touch. And then exhale, right hand to left knee. Inhale, chest lifts. And exhale, rotate, and let the head follow. Inhale, back off it a little. Again, there's a lengthening. And you see what's in your space because we're grounded and patient and here now. And twist. And just gazing out over your left shoulder, see something. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, pulling on that left knee and twist and twist and twist. And then here's the exciting part. We untwist, we rotate towards the extended leg and come down and drop your left eyeball towards your right kneecap. Now it might not reach there, but support yourself through your arms and kind of draw your heart to the right. And just feel that along your left lumbar back, your left kidney. And just enjoy feeling the blood coming into your lips, into your cheeks, into your eyelids. This feels really nice to me this morning because our lumbar backs really tighten up, and this is a gentle way to wake it up, kind of waking up the sleeping serpent, right? The coiled energy at the base of the spine that the Kundalini yogis call the sleeping serpent. Inhale, broaden the ribs. Exhale, soften your elbows, feel the earth under your palms. Scanning your body, identifying the places that are grasping or clinging. Maybe your right arm is rigid, and just fold forward for the last 2 breaths. And then just lift your head. Your palms are still on the earth. You'll notice your right big toe is a little closer to you. And then climb up your leg, missing the knee, pushing into the flesh of your leg. And again, thinking about that earth element pressing down into your upper thigh. Lift the chest, drop your shoulder blades, and see something in your space. Take a breath. Open the jaw. And then rotate forward. Extend your left leg out and bring your right leg in. And I'm going to pad my right thigh. And maybe I'll let my left leg, which is my 25-year-old leg, extend itself. And let's take inhale. And rotate, exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. You can even put your right hand on a block. Inhale, lift your chest. And I'm going to pull on that right knee, and that's what's going to rotate my ribs and spine and heart and lungs around. Inhale, lift the chest. Try not to wrench your neck. Let your chin stay in line with your sternum if possible, and twist and twist. So I'm using my arms to take the pressure off the muscles of my torso so I can really feel my spinal column twisting. 5, twisting 4, breathing 3, 2, 1. Untwist. Rotating all the way to the left leg and just feeling the difference between the right and left side, and dropping your right eye to your left knee and folding forward. Soften the roof of the mouth and the lips. And I'm going to approach, you stay in this posture. I'm going to approach the screen because there seems to be some kind of a note that keeps popping up, and I'm hoping you guys don't see it. Dropping your right shoulder. Softening the jaw. Checking out the bracing, because we all cling, and you're just going to uncling, and you're going to make friends with gravity. And just enjoy breathing down into that right kidney, that right lumbar spine, filling it with light and space. Consciously relaxing that tongue. That tongue always wants to jam into the roof of the mouth, at least in my case. Open your jaw, let out a sigh, release anything that's still clinging, and we're coming into our last 2 breaths here. Lift your head, looking past that right toenail, climbing back up your thigh, being really aware of where you are. I am here. Drop the shoulders, feel your sit bones plugged in, and then rotate back front. And for a moment, to balance the spine, we're going to take seated butterfly, just taking the soles of the feet together, maybe flap your wings a little bit. And I like to slide my hands down the inside of the shins, fingertips touching the skin of my feet, elbows resting, and just fold forward. So we're not pulling or bouncing. Again, we're utilizing gravity in a healing way. Shoulders are soft, and I'm feeling now right across my sacrum. And if your mind is not tame today, if it's jumping around, you can always introduce the Hamsa mantra or Soham, SO'HOM. So you hear the sound so on the inhalation, hum on the exhalation, but it's silent in your mind and it's subtle. So hum. Relax the groin. Last 2 breaths. And then when you exhale, pull the belly button in, engage that rectus abdominis muscle, and just roll up. Arms can drag along. And find your knees again, and let's take some shoulder circles. Move your jaw right and left. Big breath. Ha. And then we're going to slip off our blankies. Now you're welcome to use one across your mat. What I've been doing lately is using 2 mats, one like across. Oops. And let's come on to all fours and just plant your palms in the earth, feel your knees in the earth. And I like to lift one leg, shift and lift another leg. Shift, kind of like a dog by a fire hydrant. Doop. And there we go. And then just find your tabletop, drop your belly, soften your elbows a little, and cock the tailbone up, chin up. And just take a breath here and feel where the pulls are. Inhale. Now, as you exhale, pull that rectus abdominis muscle in, tuck your tailbone, curl your chin in, and push the mat towards me, and bring your hips back and let them hover over your heels. And then come forward for cow, dropping the belly, lift the tailbone and the chin, broaden the ribs. So belly button pulls in and round. My hands stay in the exact same spot. So it's a flowing cat-cow. Inhale, come forward. Bring your heart even in front of your thumbs. And exhale, belly in and hover. So your kitty claws grab that mat. One more time. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, open the knees, wide kneed child's pose. Just come all the way back, and you're welcome to put your forehead on a block. And your hands are pretty much in the same place that they were. And you're sitting back now towards your heels. You may or may not actually touch your heels. Now inhale. Exhale, soften the shin bones, lose the boundary between the shins and the floor. One more breath here. So hum. And then walk your hands back. And for a moment, right back on the thighs, peace sign fingers, B mudra, chest up, and now you're sitting on your heels. Your shoulder blades are dropping into the back pocket of your imaginary 5-pocket jeans. Take a breath, soften the back of your tongue. Move your jaw right and left. And then we're going to rise up on our knees. We're going to slip the block between our thighs, above the knees. And you're kind of going to walk your knees together. Adjust your costumes if you need to. So the block is on the narrow side. I'm going to hold it up. So you don't want the block, you want the block on the narrow side, right between your thighs. So you get this fantastic support through the pelvis, very grounding. If you want, you can tuck your toes under. I don't like to do that because my toes hurt, but you're welcome to do that. Shift the weight right and left a little bit until your block, you're not squeezing it so hard, but it's nice and firm. And take your hands on your lumbar back with your fingertips pointing to the tailbone and the heel of your hand resting, kind of pushing up on your bottom floating rib. Now, draw your elbow, flap your wings a little so you're not rigid here, and just tilt your chest up, but look down. Don't look back. Don't throw your head back yet. Inhale, broaden the chest. Woo, first nice back bend. Exhale, press the pelvis, and then draw a line with the tip of your nose along the ceiling. Softening the jaw, just let the head fall back. And come up. Ooh, that feels good. Take your strap. So we're short people today. We cut our legs half the length. And you're going to slip your wrists into the strap. And you're going to draw the strap over your head. So if you don't have a looped strap, because I can't really see, you can hold your belt or whatever you have with your palms facing me as well. But I recommend investing $7 in a strap that's nice and long so that there are a million things you can do with a strap. And draw the arms up. Now, I just jutted my head forward. There's a tendency, and one of my teachers says, don't do a funky chicken neck. Just let your head be in line with your tailbone. Now drop your tailbone and engage the area above your pubic bone to just anchor you. Inhale, take a deep breath, broaden the ribs. And come on over to the right, Ardha Chandrasana, short woman. Drop your right ear to the right shoulder and feel the length all the way down the left rib cage. This is the two-chambered lung, and your piece of your heart is between the upper and lower lobe, and just breathe there. Try to relax your shins and come down. 5, breathing. 4, and it keeps moving, it's organic. 3, breathing. 2, 1, and come up. That feels really good. Opening up the gallbladder meridian, the side bodies where we have our stubbornness being rightness. Inhale, broaden the chest. And come on over to the other side, addressing now the 3-chambered lung, the liver, and that tightness between the ribs, using the breath to give that a little space. Let your head relax a little towards your left shoulder. Tailbone is heavy for 3, and I'm coming down. 2, 1, and come up. Now just come into cactus arms, and the strap will come right behind your head. Try not to keep it behind your neck. And you're just the shoulder blades are going to come a little bit together. The pelvis presses forward, and the jaw and cheeks relax. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Remember, the shoulders are dropped and the head is just resting on those 2 straps. and come up. Straighten the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, come over to the right. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come over to the left. Just a little reinforcement. And come up. And turn your palms up and just hold a platter in front of you and turn to the left and turn to the right. Pelvis is stabilized by the block. Inhale. And exhale, keep your jaw soft. Beautiful. And then you're gonna come down. You can take your straps, keep them nearby. Come on to all fours. Now the block is between the thighs. You're gonna come down on your forearms. You're gonna tuck your toes under and you're gonna come into low plank with the block. So it's like you're pushing the block towards the ceiling. Inhale, broaden the ribs. Exhale, waking up that third chakra, right? That willpower, that belly energy. Inhale, the combustion. Exhale, One more time. Inhale and exhale, and lower your knees to the floor and come down on your stomach and just come to Makarasana. Now my block is still between my thighs. It's not doing anything. So you cross your forearms. You're going to put your forehead right on your arm. And you're going to draw your elbows forward. My legs are relaxed. Inhale, broaden your ribs. And exhale, feel your belly collapsing and coming into a little bit of a vacuum at the end of your exhalation. This actually massages the vagus nerve, calms the body, the nervous system down. 2 more breaths. And then just lift your head and we'll come into Sphinx pose. I like to have 3 points of contact. You can do classic Sphinx with the 2 hands, 2 forearms parallel to one another. You can take it this way. And then the third option is holding your elbows, which today feels good to me. I rarely do this one, but I want to do it today. So my block is between my thighs. I'm not consciously squeezing it, but I feel it there because I walked my legs together just for the stability. 2 hips on the floor. Now soften the palate of your mouth and just pull the mat a little bit towards you so your heart lifts. And soften your glutes a little bit. This is basically a back bend. Notice, trace your spine from the tip of it all the way up through the lumbar back. And notice what places might feel numb or that you can't feel at all. Maybe where the dull ache is. There's usually a little bit of a dull ache. Inhale. So your forearms are on the floor. Are you talking on the phone? It's okay. The dog is, he says, I am not going to do that pose. And then bring your feet nice and wide and turn your palms out and come up to seal pose and just let your spine drop into the soft tissue. Let the jaw go. Now my shoulders are up, my elbows are locked, and my spine is like a jump rope. And then I'm going to bend my legs and put my big toes together. And you can see them right behind the crown of my head. I'm trying to keep my alignment. And one day I'm going to rest the back of my head on the soles of my feet. Probably in my next lifetime when I'm about 5 or 6 years old again. And breathe. This is so good for your spine. It's a back bend without effort. The effort is in the arms. And then slowly, it'll feel like heaven. Peel your spine down. Allow the legs to float to the floor. Take your hands under your shoulders, and we're gonna come back. And you know, the block is, you can move it off to the side, right to wide knee child's pose. Whew. And just take some breaths here. Let the jaw go, let the head go. Just 2 more breaths, just a beautiful transition in our favorite posture. I think everybody loves this one. And last big breath. And then come up on all fours. Draw your knees together. Inhale, cow pose. Toes tuck under. Exhale, belly pulls in. Your hips move back, and you find yourselves finally in a downward facing dog. Now my shoulders draw away from my earlobes. My belly button pulls in so my tailbone shines straight back, not up to the ceiling. And I'm going to try to allow my heels to soften to the floor so I can say hello to my calves and my hamstrings and my Achilles tendon. Inhale, broaden your ribs. See if you can make them wider. And exhale, maybe stick your tongue out like a dog panting. Inhale, close your mouth, broaden your ribs. Exhale, stick the tongue out. One more inhale. And exhale. Come up on your tippy toes. Bend your knees, shoot your tailbone back and look forward and hover here like a human slingshot. Inhale, broaden the ribs. Exhale, pull the belly in. And then walk, step, jump, call an Uber, and find yourself standing with your feet 2 fists width and hanging in ragdoll. And sometimes it's nice to just rest your arms on some blocks and let your head hang. So you're not putting all of that strain on the lumbar spine, right? We really overdo it in yoga, especially people who don't practice regularly or getting older. You don't have to give yourself an injury in yoga class. I've become very vigilant about safety in class, breathing. And just like gravity again, pull blood into the crown of your head. And then turn your hands to your blocks and place them shoulder width on the tall side and come to a halfway lift. Now, the feet are maybe 6-8 inches apart. The belly button is in, and you're in an upside down L shape, like love, like luck, like lady. Step your left foot between your blocks, step your right foot straight back, lower your right hip and come down into pyramid pose. And I'm just going to drop my ribs on the inside of my left thigh. And I'm going to inhale, come to a halfway lift. I'm going to exhale and I'm going to fold forward. If you need to gently bend that front leg, that's okay. But just don't bend it too much because it's not a warrior. Back foot is pointing straight to the screen. Inhale, halfway lift. And make sure that right heel is on the floor. Exhale, fold forward, and then just find a way to just drop your head and melt your heart down the inside of your left thigh. Now I'm pulling my left abdominal wall in, rolling my right hip down a little bit. So I'm really squaring off the pelvis. Very healthy for the lumbar back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Turn your palms back onto your block, halfway lift. You're gonna bend your left leg as you exhale. Move your blocks forward and lift your right leg parallel to the floor. And then you can straighten your elbows, all 5 toenails facing the ground of the right leg that's elevated. And then exhale, step your right foot next to your left. Sit down in the chair, Utkatasana, chest up, heart up. Now I'm doing it with my ankles and knees together. You can do it hip width if that gives you more stability. And just sink and drop that dragon tailbone into the earth. Take a breath, broaden your ribs. Exhale, sit a little deeper. One more, inhale. And exhale, hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra. Like a little Hindu deity, come down as deep as you can. Shift the weight to the heels. You're going to feel your thighs starting to talk to you. And then stand up. Tadasana, mountain pose. So remember the earth element, our bones, our pelvis, our feet, our legs. Allow gravity to work through your bones and just have the image of the mountaintop. From the waist down, you're part of the granite, part of the earth. Feet maybe touching as deep as the lava. And then the verdant part of the mountain is your chest and heart and lungs. And then the crown of the head is the bare top of the mountain that's above the tree line, close to the heavens. That's the image for Tadasana, at least how I learned it. Take a breath. Be here now. I am here is your mantra. I am here. This is me. And then for a moment, take your hands on your hips and step your right leg forward and your left leg back. Take your cheese knife, Wisconsin people, cut back on that right thigh. So your 2 hips are like headlights facing straight ahead. My back leg is not turned out, maybe 5 degrees. And you're going to come forward and you're going to find your blocks again that frame your right foot, and you can adjust them where they work for you. Some people like them slightly in front. And then come to a halfway lift. Now, right thigh bone sucks in, left hip drops. Exhale, bend your elbows, kiss your shin. Thank it for taking you everywhere. Inhale, halfway lift. Remember, the breathing is so important. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And now, if you need to soften the front knee a little, you can, and kind of melt your heart down the inside seam of your right leg. And breathe. Thank your shin. Maybe give it a little air kiss for taking you everywhere in life. And let the eyes soften, jaw soften. Now find your back leg and press through the center of the heel of the back leg and the ball of the foot of the front leg, and take 2 more breaths here. And just let something out. On your next inhalation, come to a halfway lift. And you're going to shift the weight into the front leg, maybe walk the blocks forward and lift your left leg, balancing here, 2 hips facing the ground, sole of the foot of the left foot to the ceiling, breathing 5, 4, lock those both knees, 3, 2, 1. Now lower the left leg next to the right, but this time hip width, so you can slip your 1 block between your thighs. Sit in the chair, Utkatasana, holding the block. And your feet are parallel like train tracks. Your chest is up, your tailbone drops. And there's something about that block being there that gives you this powerful stability, earth element. I am here. Intertwine your fingers to the web, slip them behind your head. We're still in Utkatasana, we're still bound, we're coming down. And take a little back bend. Inhale. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, stay low in the knees. Exhale, curl in. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, sit as deep as you can and rise up, lifting the ribs off the hips, turning the palms to the back wall so you broaden across your back. Inhale. Exhale. Good for the legs. One more. Inhale. And exhale, stand up, hands to the heart. Tadasana with the block, and just have that image again of standing like a mountain on this beautiful earth. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, ragdoll. And you can put your elbows across your knees or hang or grab a block and put your hands on the block. And sometimes you have to move around a little bit. Shake your head, wag your tail, hanging forward. Jaw soft. One more breath. And then you're going to slip your block out from between your thighs. You're just going to put them in front of you, and you're going to step your feet nice and wide. And remember, the blocks have 3 sides. You're going to come down and hang over now, a nice wide stance. If you want, you can grab your outer calves, wrap your elbows towards the outside of your calves, and put your head on the block. You get your head on the chopping block in this one, right? Pulling is the object of stretching. So you're pulling up on your calves, and your spine is releasing, and you're breathing. Now come lighter in your toes, breathing, broaden the ribs. Exhale. Eyelids are soft. Oh my goodness, this feels so good. Inhale and exhale. Hands to your blocks, halfway lift. Right, so we're always working that abdominis rectus muscle between the belly button and the pubic bone. That's what spares your spine, your lumbar back from unnecessary strain. Right hand stays on the block, left hand comes to the lumbar spine, and just kind of press your palm against your lower back, lengthening it, and roll your left shoulder open and twist to the left and see what you see. Watch you're not cocking the tailbone to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale, fold forward. Left hand on the block, right hand to the lumbar back. Take a moment. You can look down at your left, make sure everything is stable. Roll your right shoulder open and twist. Now watch that right hip doesn't lift. You want the 2 hips to try to stay parallel to the floor. So you actually feel this through the spine. And fold forward. And just maybe rest your head. Just let everything soften between your thighs. Shrug your kneecaps up gently, pulling up through the belly. Palms to the blocks, halfway lift. And then you're going to bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up. And draw your feet together. And this should be a powerful release. Just boom, Tadasana. Legs can be wherever they need to be. Block is not between thighs. And just feel the power and the currents that you free up when you work slowly and mindfully in these familiar postures. So now we're going to take the legs wide again. And you're going to take the block in the left hand. You're going to turn the left foot to the left and the right foot in. I'm just going to hold my right hip. And I'm going to come down, warrior two, pulse a little bit. And I'm going to release that right arm back. And here we are. We're in Virabhadrasana 2. And you can keep pulsing into that right hip until you warm it up. And it almost comes to a right angle. And you're going to bring the block to the floor. You're going to put your hand on the block. You can come up to spider arms. Right hand comes to tailbone. Rotate right. Now we just did this, right shoulder, and look up at the ceiling and breathe. And if you want, you can release that right arm to 12 o'clock and look past your thumbnail, rotating right shoulder blade back for 5, breathing, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up. Take the block with you. Turn it up, right hand to the hip, exalt the warrior, and imagine the block weighed like 7 pounds, and it's just pulling that whole left side open for you. Easy eyes, you can look down your shoulder, or you can look up. That's your choice. Oh, I just got a crack. Straighten that left leg, turn those toes in. Dandayamana, Bipaktipada, Paschimottanasana, lift your chest and dive forward. Now I'm taking the block with me again because today I just feel like having some support, but you're welcome to slip your hands under your heels and use the block for your head instead. Feet are slightly pigeon-toed or parallel. Forward folding, separate leg stretching, forward folding. Dandayamana, Vipaktapata Paschimottanasana is what you say it in Sanskrit. I love it. Hands to your blocks, halfway left. This time, you're going to take your right block with you and come up. Oh my God. Things are waking up now. Right leg turns to the right, left foot turns in. And you can take your right hand on your hip and just kind of, now this is my bad hip side, so you're not going to see much action on this side until they put a fake one in there, which they're going to do next fall. Not looking forward to it. Bounce a little bit into that right hip. Release that left arm and come down, Vira 2. You're pulling up through that abdominis so that the tailbone relaxes and shines to the outside of your left heel. Come down, take a breath, and tilt. Right hand comes down in front of the ankle, so I can't do that on this side, so I'm going to just put the block on my thigh, because that's the only range of motion I have there on that right hip. Roll the left shoulder open. Remind your tailbone to shine to your left heel. Use the front, not the back. So your hand is there to see where you're tightening. I want you to loosen your glute and really use your abdominal wall, and then left hand to 12 o'clock, breathing. You're pushing that right knee open. Tongue is soft. And come up and turn that block up, exalt your warrior. And that should feel super good through those right ribs. And straighten that right leg. Turn those toes in. Step your feet together. Tadasana. You still have the block, right? Arms up. Utkatasana. Drop the tailbone. I'm holding the block. Just gently, hands on each side of the block. And then I'm going to take the arms down. Exhale. Staying deep. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And straighten up. Drop your blocked Tadasana. What's happening through the whole pelvis, through the hips? Feels good. Inhale wide and high. Exhale, fold forward, ragdoll. Inhale, halfway lift. This time you're just pushing on your shins and you're flattening your back. And you're gonna plant your palms and step back this time to a high push-up. And just hold here. Again, rectus abdominis, kneecap shrugging up. So it's the front body that holds this. Nice long neck, shoulders pull back. Take a breath. And then float your knees to the floor and walk back sitting in broken toe. So my toes are tucked under, hands on my thighs. Pants falling down, adjust pants. Keep boobs in costume. And sit here for a moment until you feel the heat in your toes and in the soles of your feet. And then plant your palms on the floor and tap your poor feet out. Whoo, my goodness. Let's take the left knee to the left edge of the mat and bring the right foot towards the right edge of the mat. Slide your right leg back and come down and rock a little bit here, right to left. So we're in half pigeon. Now you can use a block under your left thigh and you can just soften here and focus on the fascia that this is addressing around that left hip socket. Now my right leg is straight back, but I'm not flexing my foot or anything. I'm just relaxing that leg completely. But the subtlety of this posture, the RX part of this, if you want to use, is you're pulling the left thigh back, rolling the right hip forward, so you're actually creating a little traction along your spine. So it's about lengthening forward through the heart as that left hip pulls back. So you're not just collapsing into your joints and your flexibility, or you'll end up like me needing a hip replacement, because in the old days, people weren't as sophisticated about anatomy as they are now. I feel all of the tension under my right gluteus maximus kind of softening here. Two more breaths. And then come up. And I'm just going to slide this left leg next to the right. And I'm going to take a cat-cow. And then I'm going to slide my right knee to the right edge of my mat and kind of scooch my right foot to the left side. And remember, this is my non-movable bone against bone hip. I don't know why I'm smiling. It really hurts most of the time. And I'm going to make a nice big pad for my right hip so that I could do the pose at my edge, which is, not like the way I used to do it 45 years ago. Inhale. So the rest of you can come down onto your forearms. Remember, we're creating traction by rolling the left hip down and forward, right thigh sucks in, and then the heart moves forward. So you get a little space in the thoracic back. Now I'm struggling with my tongue here. My tongue wants to jam into the roof of my mouth, but we don't want to let that happen. Half pigeon, or sleeping swan, as it's called in yin. Inhale, broaden your ribs, and exhale. And for all of you with hip issues or fake hips, this would be the modification for you, coming up high here. Rest of you come down. You never want to feel a pinch of bone against bone with your hip bone against your thigh. You don't want, if your leg falls asleep, you come out of it or you adjust so that some blood and energy can flow through it. I think, that's one of the damages I did, because I was taught, I did Bikram for 20 years, that pain was gain. And when in fact, pain is your body telling you something's not right. So you have to listen to it within reason. There's a difference between pain and an ache or a dull ache, or feeling the muscle completely coming to its edge. Pain is sharp, tingly, numbing. You don't want that. 2 more breaths. And when you finish that last breath, you're going to pull the block out from under your right hip. And you're just going to roll onto your right hip. And you're going to swing your legs in front of you. And this is going to feel kind of divine. You're going to bring your feet a little wider than your hips with your hands behind you. And you're just going to windshield wipe and maybe throw your head in the opposite direction that the knees bend, rolling across your glutes and tailbone. Same thing, other side. And you're just going to do that like a nice massage for the lower back. And just noticing you're still engaging the rectus abdominis muscle so that your back releases. So when you have an engaged core, your lumbar spine has less contraction and tension around it, and it has more mobility. And then you're going to come and stretch your legs straight forward. And I'm going to move my booty back a little bit so that you can see my feet. You're going to take your straps across the ball of your foot. This way you can make sure that one foot isn't sickling or collapsing different from the other. The strap kind of gives you good alignment. And you come down, and my hands are quite close to my feet, but some of you, maybe you're not that flexible. Bring your chest forward and lift it. And this is called Paschimottanasana. I'm sure you've heard that from all of your yoga teachers. It's a fancy way, Paschimottanasana. And what it means is forward bending. It's quite mundane. And come forward, suck your belly in, your elbows bend a little bit, and imagine popping your big toes in your mouth. So the heart keeps moving forward. So you're coming down like a jackknife instead of rounding down. Now pull in your abdominal wall, release that lower back, breathing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just fold forward and just release the strap and just fold forward, resting your arms on your shins. And then roll up, pulling your belly in. Hands can slide along. Maybe when they come to your knees, give them that little, now your hands have some energy and warmth in them. And then just sit up. And we're just going to bend our left leg. And you could take it across the shin. You could take it inside. Or you can take shoelace. It's your choice. I'm going to choose this today. And then I'm going to move my belly to the left so it's not in the way of my twist. I'm going to flex my right foot, get a grip on my outer left knee, and rotate that open spine, especially after all the forward bending. Now you can feel the twist from the tip of your tailbone to the crown of your head. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Ha. Drop your shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Ha. For 3. Twisting 2. Twisting 1. Eyes come around, head comes around, and untwist. That feels good. For a moment, just grab this right knee and lift your chest and maybe bring the bridge of your nose parallel to the ceiling. Digesting the postures, right? Not just stringing them, it's like when we're at a buffet, we're like grabbing everything and then it's all one lump. But if you really want to savor your practice, just savor just bending the knee up. You can use your arms, decide if you want the leg across here or stacked with the foot on the knife edge, your choice. I'm going to keep it here. Now, I can't pull this leg in because of the hip, so that's my edge. So you don't have to worry less about your form and more about how it feels. Inhale, lift your chest. Now I'm plugging in my 3-pronged plug. Remember, we're talking about earth element. And then you're twisting from the deep core of the earth all the way through the crown of the head. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So it's less neck wrenching and more softening through the ribs. You feel that full rotation, breathing, head comes around, eyes come around. And release. Oh, that felt really good. And popcorn your knees. Let's get our little blankies again and sit on them. Just slightly elevated pelvis. And I'm going to look for the blocks. There it is, hiding behind me. And I'm going to cross my legs and make myself nice and comfortable. Now, if this doesn't feel good for you, you can always have one leg a little bit straighter. I went to a week of John Kabat-Zinn at the Omega Institute of Mindfulness meditation. We would sit for hours and hours, and it was not possible for me to sit, even though we had Zubatons, to sit like this. So I put a block under my thigh and I put my leg out, and I was able to deeply meditate because it wasn't so uncomfortable that the only thing I could think about was sitting like this and trying to be a statue in the British Museum. No, it's about anchoring, feeling that energy through your spine, having an awareness of the crown of the head, which is open when you're born, and just dropping the shoulders and letting gravity move through you in a way that you're balanced. And you're just going to blink your eyes closed, and we're going to bring in that Soham mantra again, very subtly. Now, you don't say anything. I say it out loud so you have a sense of how you use it. It's a tool for taming the monkey mind. Inhale, so hum, and with the hum, you really anchor and claim your space and body. So hum, and then it will just resonate silently within you. Tip of the tongue, middle tongue, back of the tongue, soft, lips sliding on the moisture of your teeth, eyelids like gauze curtains over open windows. May you feel safe. May your mind see the beauty of life. May your body be well nourished and pain-free. And may you live the rest of this beautiful May day with ease. May you live the rest of this day with ease. Namaste. Thank you for showing up and using your asana as a healing practice. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.